start in Maryland, where changes are coming to the way police store body camera footage. Lawmakers created a task force which will examine the best ways to store audio and video recordings captured by police body cameras. This decision comes as more police departments are equipping officers with cameras in light of national concerns over policing practices. Meanwhile, in Montgomery County, the minimum wage hike will increase from $11 up to $15 for workers there. This wage increase will be phased in depending on the number of workers employed by the business. Also new in Maryland, there's a new bill allowing barbershops and beauty salons in Anne Arundel County to serve a limited amount of wine or beer, so you can now have a drink as you're getting pampered. Next to Virginia, where lawmakers passed a number of gun control bills. This includes requiring background checks on all firearms and a limit on handgun purchases to one a month. Also, a lost or stolen gun will now need to be reported within 48 hours of going missing. And big changes are in store for the future of Confederate statues across the Commonwealth. Under new law, localities will now have the ability to remove or relocate Confederate monuments on public property. Previous Virginia law made it illegal to remove any war monuments. Also, an update for pot smokers. Marijuana is now decriminalized. This means anyone who's caught with under an ounce will now face a $25 civil fine instead of jail time. Finally, to the roads. There will now be safer streets for pedestrians. Starting today, drivers are required to stop and remain stopped until the pedestrian passes their lane. Nicole D'Antonio, WSA 9.